In this video, we're going to learn how to use the findIf function in C++. So the findIf function can be used to find the first element in a range that satisfies a condition. So the first thing we'll do is include the algorithm library where the findIf function is defined. We'll also include the vector library so we can create a vector. Then down here, we'll declare a vector and we'll have this vector store int values and we'll call the vector data. Then we'll insert some values into the vector. So we'll have data.pushback 3 and data.pushback 8 and data.pushback 7 and then finally data.pushback 9. So right now the vector looks like this. We have 3, 8, 7, and 9. We could use the findIf function to find the first even number in the vector. What we'll do is call findIf, and for the first two arguments, we'll pass it data.begin and data.end. So data.begin is an iterator that points to the first element in the vector, and data.end is also an iterator that points to the element one past the last element in the vector. And this element doesn't actually exist. It's kind of a theoretical element. Now together, these two iterators define the range of elements to be checked. The range to be checked is going to be from the element pointed to by this iterator here up until, but not including, the element pointed to by this iterator here. So it's going to be exactly these elements here in our vector. Now the third argument to the function is what's called a unary predicate. And a unary predicate is a function that's going to accept a single element as an argument, and the function is going to return a Boolean value. We'll create a function that's going to return true if the element that it's passed is an even number and false otherwise. So up here, we'll have bool as the return type. We'll call the function isEven. The function will accept an int as an argument. So we'll have int n as the parameter. So if we get a remainder of 0 after dividing an integer by 2, then we know that integer is an even number. We can get the remainder of a division operation with the modulus operator %. So what we could have here is return n modulus 2 is equal to 0. So if the remainder of dividing n by 2 is equal to 0, we're going to return true. Otherwise, we're going to return false. We'll now actually pass isEven to the findIf function. So here we'll have isEven as the third argument, and the findIf function is going to use isEven. It's going to apply isEven to each element in the range until it finds an element for which that function returns true. And findIf is going to return an iterator that points to that element. So what we'll do is store that into a variable it. Then we'll dereference it to output that element. So we'll have here cout first even value in vector colon, and then we'll dereference the iterator to output the element. And then we'll have an end line. So if we save, compile, and run the program, we'll get here first even value in vector is 8, which is correct. So the findIf function returned an iterator pointing to that element, and then here we dereferenced it to output the value. Now if the unary predicate returns false for every element in the vector, then findIf is going to return this iterator here. So we could test that out. We'll put here 5, which is also an odd number. Now every number in the vector is odd. We'll check to see if this iterator here is equal to data.end. So we'll have here if it is equal to data.end, then we'll output no even value found in vector followed by an end line. Otherwise, we'll output the first even value in the vector. So we'll test this out. We'll save, compile, and run our program. And now we get no even value found in vector. And that's because all the elements in our vector are now odd numbers. And so findIf returned the second argument, which defines the end of our range. So this is how we can use the findIf function in C++ to find the first element in a range for which a unary predicate returns true.
Check out portfoliocourses.com, where we'll help you build a portfolio that will impress employers.